Hey everyone, it's Sparkle. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be redrawing 3 of my old artworks and also opening up some new stationery as well and then using it to draw. Now there's going to be a lot going on in this video, so feel free to grab your sketchbook and draw along as well. And with that, let's get started. So I went ahead and picked out the 3 drawings that I want to recreate today just before I started filming, and this is the first one that I chose. It's kind of like this character inspired by lollipops, and she's got like a very pastel rainbow theme, and we're gonna try and recreate it. Also, don't mind the small sticky note, it's just to cover up my name. And now let's get started. Also, look how far into my sketchbook I've gotten. This is just motivating me to keep on drawing even more because I really want to see what other cool ideas the rest of these pages will be filled with. And with that, it's time to start drawing, which is the fun part of the video. And as usual, I picked up my 0.5 mechanical pencil and started sketching. And as I was sketching, one of my biggest points of focus was to make sure that I was being really nice and loose and free, because I really just wanted this drawing to have a sense of movement about it. That was actually my intention with the first drawing. The thing is, my sketch turned out good, but the line art kind of ruined it with the first drawing. But this time around, I wanted to be really kind of cautious of that and make sure the drawing looks as though it has some sense of movement, or at least a little bit more than the first drawing that I made. Now, the very first sketch that I made was mainly just to mark out the pose and everything, but this second sketch is to mark out some more definitive features, such as the pattern on the outfit, the fingers, the eyes, and other facial features, and the hair as well. If there was one thing I learned today from redrawing my old art, it would be that I have lost so much creativity. Like, I'm feeling that. I feel like back in the day, which is actually not such a long time ago, but anyways, I was so creative, and like, look at this outfit and the design and the colors, and it looks so creative and nice. And nowadays I feel like my ideas are so basic and simple. I really want to bring that back. But it's kind of good that I did this challenge because now I kind of know what one of my 2024 goals are going to be, and hopefully throughout the sketchbook, or at least as it progresses from this point, you will get to see some more creative sketches. Fingers crossed. Initially, I was thinking of using the exact same markers that I used for the first drawing to redraw the second drawing, but the thing is, those markers, half of them are kind of dry because they're really old and I have used them a lot in the past, and because of that, I couldn't do that. So my second idea was to make sure that with this drawing, I kind of improve the color palette and make it look, well, better. That's what I thought, but the thing is, I feel like there's just something about the first color palette that just makes it pop. The second one is nice, but the first one just looks better. Or maybe that's just what I think. Anyways, when we get up to the coloring, let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer version 1 or version 2? Also, just something to keep in mind is that the very first drawing you saw was drawn on an A4 piece of paper, and this is drawn on an A5 piece of paper, which is half the size. So if some of the details look really small, or they don't just have that much, well, detail about them, that's probably why. For some reason today, I had a hard time coloring the skin. I'm not sure why, but I was just having a hard time picking out the right colors and blending them. It's so weird because this is not usually my problem. My problem is usually when it comes to coloring bigger stuff like the outfit and the hair and stuff like that. But I think eventually I got to kind of make it come together by using, as you can see, the purple and pink that I just used, and through that I was able to also add a bit of depth to the skin as well. And now it is time to color in the part of the drawing that can either make it or break it, which is the dress. The color that I had the most trouble choosing was yellow, because the main part of the dress, the bottom part, the skirt part of it, is a nice yellow color, and I was having such a hard time picking the right one. Like, I wanted it to be kind of like a golden yellow, but also pastel, also kind of saturated, but not too saturated. So I did some kind of swatches at the corner of the paper, and eventually I got a color that I liked, and then I decided to mix these two to add some depth, and I think it looks good. But again, there's just something about the vibrancy of the very first, the original drawing, that also looks nice. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. In all honesty, coloring the hair was definitely the most satisfying part of this entire process because all I had to do was just grab color after color and just lay them down on the paper, not worrying about anything, not worrying about shading or adding depth. And in the end, I accidentally added depth as well, which is good, by layering the purple on the pink because there was no room left to actually use purple. But see, it's a happy mistake and it worked out for the best. And the second most satisfying part was adding the white gel pen highlights, which is weird because usually that would be the most satisfying part, wouldn't it? Anyways, I got to watch this drawing come to life and sparkle, and now as I show you the final result, so will you as well. Also, after I finished recording, I decided to go back and add some washi tape and a sticker on top, so here's how that turned out as well. And now it's time for the second drawing of today's video. And this is the drawing that we're going to be trying to recreate. This was actually a drawing challenge that I did with my friend. The idea was to draw a galaxy-inspired character, I believe, using our ballpoint pens from memory. It was a long time ago, but that's the general idea. And this is how my drawing turned out. I colored it in using water-based markers, and I think it was pastel highlighters. So today we're going to be doing something similar to that. I actually did think about doing the same kind of thing with this drawing that I did with the first one, which was to not sketch with pencil and just go in directly with a ballpoint pen and start sketching. But at the same time, the thing is, I wasn't feeling that confident at the time, so I did go ahead and make a very nice rough pencil sketch, and then I decided to work on the rest of the drawing. I was going to use a ballpoint pen, but the thing is, I'm going to be using some different mediums on top, and if I'm using markers and I'm combining that with a blue ballpoint pen, then the skin is not going to turn out very nice, so that's why I decided to use my Muji pen instead. For the skin in the first drawing, I think I used colored pencils, Again, this was a very long time ago, so I don't remember it that well. But I did consider using pencils for this drawing, but the thing is, this paper doesn't work the best with pencils when you want to achieve a smooth effect, so instead I went with markers. And now it's time to take a small break from the drawing and open up some stationery that I will actually be using again to work on the drawing. So let's get started. So the very first thing I got was this set of ballpoint pens. You get 10 pens, a total of 5 colors, and it was on sale for $1, and obviously I couldn't resist. And so here we are, the pens have found their forever home. And now it's time to start swatching. As you can tell, the colors are looking pretty good, and to me the ink feels pretty smooth as well. I've been using them for a while and so far I'm loving them. I also love how if you run out of a color, for example orange, you're gonna have a backup color in the set as well, which is obviously amazing. The second thing I picked up was this set of pastel highlighters, so let's open that up as well. I think the shape of the highlighters are pretty unique, and I also love how well they worked as well. The colors are really nice, and what I did was on the left side swatches I tried to layer the colors on top of themselves one more time just to see what kind of difference it might make, and as you can see it does add a tiny bit of darkness, and on the left it's just a single one layer swatch. I'm honestly really happy with them, and I think they'll be a great way to add some more color to my sketchbook and my notes as well. Next up we have some washi tape. This was $5 I believe for 10 rolls of washi tape, and this is actually pretty unique because each washi tape kind of has its own pattern on it, which I think is so cool. And just the colors and the uniqueness and the texture, I love everything about them. So let's get swatching, or cutting and gluing or putting them onto the paper. Anyways, my point is, let's see how they look on paper. And that's the final one. As you can see, like I said before, the patterns are truly amazing and they look so cool, each of them by themselves and all together look amazing. And now the very last thing I got was this brush marker set with 24 brush markers, and I haven't tried something like this in quite a while, so I'm kind of curious to see how it is, because while I do have brush markers, they are alcohol-based markers and these are water-based markers. And the good thing about this is that I can use these markers in my sketchbook without worrying about them ruining the drawing on the other side or ghosting through the paper or bleeding through the paper, as alcohol markers generally tend to do in the sketchbook that I'm currently using, because these markers, as I said, are water-based. Also, look at how perfectly the cap fits on both sides. I mean, that's just gotta make you happy. Or at least it made me really happy that they paid so much attention to these small details. Imagine if I just threw this box away with 2 markers still inside. Okay, just double checking and triple checking right now, and I'm pretty sure I've got all the colors covered. I feel like when we think of numbers, we just think of like the written number, like 24, it's 2 and a 4, but like when you look at 24 things in front of you, it feels like a lot. Like those 24 markers, to me, as I was swatching them, felt like so many markers, and the thing is, 24 markers gives me such a whole new possibility of things that I could draw, and I just feel so excited to see what I could create with these. And here are the final colors that you get in this set. Honestly, I'm really happy with the variety. I think it's amazing. And if you're wondering, I did get all these stationery and art supplies from Kmart, by the way. And now it's time to put them in my pencil case, which was something I struggled with because I wanted to put everything in my pencil case, but that's not really possible because otherwise it's going to be really heavy and I'm going to have trouble closing it, and you know, it won't fit. So I tried my best to fit as many things in as I could, and in the end, unfortunately, I had to take the highlighters out just because they were too big, and it just didn't make sense having both the brush pens and the highlighters, because in the end I would probably end up using them in a similar kind of way in my sketchbook. So that's why I decided to temporarily place them on my desk in this cute little cup that I got a long time ago, and here's how it looks. I will definitely be using them still, but it's just that they're not going to be in my pencil case. That's fine though. Anyways, I decided to go ahead and use my new brush pens and ballpoint pen as well to color in the outfit. At first, I was super duper nervous about this because I loved how the drawing was looking, and I was kind of scared that doing this might end up in me ruining the drawing and hating it afterwards. But the thing is, I decided to be brave and just go with it. And the reason why I'm doing this is because in the original drawing, I used like water-based markers and my highlighters, my pastel highlighters to color it in. So I decided to do something similar with this drawing. For some reason, at the time I was coloring this, I didn't think to use my pastel highlighters. Like, I just didn't think of that at all. If I had thought of it at that time, I would have used it. But unfortunately, I ended up using the water-based markers instead. Still, I think it works though. And then for the hair, I combined my alcohol-based markers with these new water-based markers to create something unique, something that I haven't tried before. And I also layered it with my ballpoint pen as well. So it's kind of like a mixed media illustration. My only concern was that in the original drawing, the boots and the hair were actually a purple color, but I ended up making it pink in this drawing. Still, I think it works out alright in the end in terms of making the color palette look good. But it would have been pretty cool to see how purple looks as well. Also, I clearly don't know how to draw a cat, so I pretty much tried to draw my dog, but like I skipped a few features and I added some pointy ears, and I just hoped that it would look like a cat, and I think in the end, it pretty much looks like a cat, which is a nice achievement. And after a lot of thought, I also decided to add a background color as well, and after our white gel pen highlights, it's going to be time for the grand reveal. But just before that, can I just say that if you have been able to watch up to this far into the video, you are truly amazing, and it means so much to me that you're still watching. And to let me know that you've made it this far, make sure to comment this emoji down below. And now, after packing up all the mess that I have made, it is time to officially show you guys how this drawing turned out, and here's how it looks. Also, I'll be adding some clips in the end of how it looks afterwards once I added some washi tape and a sparkly sticker as well. And now it's time for the last drawing of today's video. So this drawing, or painting I guess, is of just a guy. It's super simple and nice, which is why I chose it to be the last one. And also I painted it with watercolor, so I thought it would be nice and fun and relaxing for me to do as well. So let's just get straight into this. The only problem is that drawing a guy wouldn't be as relaxing because I don't know how to draw guys and I'm still learning. So that's going to be a bit of a learning curve, but hopefully once the sketch and line art is done, the rest is going to be fairly relaxing. Compared to the other two drawings, the outfit and the pose for this drawing and even just the colors are just so simple and nice, which was so relaxing to do. With the original drawing, I don't remember what pen I used, or if I did watercolors then line art or line art then watercolors, so this time around I decided to do the line art first. And now here are the watercolors and water just magically appearing through the magic of editing. And now it's time to start painting. I think everything was pretty simple except for the face for me, because I did have some things that I wasn't sure about how I wanted to do. For example, did I want to paint it wet on wet? Like while the paint is wet, did I want to blend in features like the nose? Or did I want it to do wet on dry? Or did I just want to use pencils on top? So in the end, I pretty much tried everything. I did try wet on wet, I didn't like it. Then I used a tissue to clean it off. Then I tried wet on dry. Didn't like it that much, but I kind of left some of it there. And then I used pencils on top as well. But just making these decisions was definitely a bit of an adventure. And now look at my tissue after all this. It looks like an artwork of its own, doesn't it? And now it's time to add the flowers. I was going to paint it, but then I thought these paint pens might work better because they're more opaque. And then I'm adding in some green little dots in the middle of each flower. And finally going in with my pencils to add some shading to the face and the hair and the shirt, just to add some more depth. And I also decided to take things a step further by adding some marker on top of the skin, just to make it pop a tiny bit more and hopefully blend the pencils in. Honestly, this entire drawing was just pretty much experimentation. But the good thing is that in the end I finished and I'm happy with the final product. But now it's time for you to let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. Anyways, here's the grand reveal. Let me know down below in the comments which of these three drawings were your favorite. But anyways guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a fabulous day. Stay awesome as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye!